One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. Then let me be free. From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel, and a spirit unbroken. He rides on to it, ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar. Insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow. He takes his step, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Whistlers report he paves his way. More legend in the making, day by day.
Good morning to everybody. Let's get this one on the road, man. Much love, honor, and respect to everybody this morning. We are officially celebrating Liberal Meltdown Day 2024, everybody. Big round of applause. You know, they tried, you know what I mean? And now we're watching a full-on meltdown. So welcome, everybody. You know, hopefully you're all having a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon, wherever the hell you guys are from. You know what I mean? So let's get this one on the road. We got, listen, man, before we get into like all this crazy shit, because we got a compilation to go over. You know what I mean? We're going to discuss it a little bit. Before we do, though, make sure you guys hit that like button. It's the #1 metric of all of YouTube, as well as hit that subscribe button, man. I don't know what you're doing if you haven't done it yet, man. Also, please consider, you know, becoming a member. Starting only at $2.99 a month. We made sure that it's affordable for everybody. I very much appreciate you guys considering doing that and helping out the show monetarily like that. All as well as, you know, since we're on the topic of monetary, of course, all of the super chats, all of the gifted memberships, all you guys' membership signups, all of that's going to be called out and shouted out. But also, we have these scrolling down below just in case you want to help out the show monetarily and not have that YouTube brutal 30% cut. You know what I mean? So we'll allow this to scroll at the bottom. And last but not least, you know, for the call to actions, follow my Instagram. This is where I do everything behind the scenes. This is everything, you know, where I correspond with everybody. And yes, the truth is it does take me some time sometimes to reply because unfortunately the shit goes, especially when I have videos pop off on Instagram, it goes crazy. I just posted well, not just posted. I just had a video that I made about, I don't know, like 2.5 weeks ago, and it popped off randomly the last couple of days. And so now it's got like 350,000 views or whatever. And so when that shit happens, it just, you know, it floods your whole social medias, right? So anyways, I appreciate you guys hanging out with us this morning. We're about to get into it this morning with the craziness. We got Liberal Meltdown Day. We're celebrating today. You know what I mean? Good to see you, Road Rage. Good to see you guys. Evil Rick, as well as Dwayne. Always good to see you, kind sir. As well as Tiffany and Lee Lance. Thank you, guys. Shadow, good to see you. Hank as well. Man, it's always great to see you guys. Brother Steve, as well as Miss Lotus. Good to see you. Hopefully you're having a good morning. Getting a divorce over someone. Wow, someone. This doesn't surprise me right here. Getting a divorce over who someone voted for is a clear sign of a marriage that was already on thin ice. And that's true. That's facts. And you were never going to get on the same fucking page, obviously. Good morning, Mike, the Wise, the Breakfast Crew, and all the haters. Stop the cap. Hey. I don't know why this just came up as Facebook, Joseph. I have no idea. But I know it's you. You know what I mean? I hope you're doing good, man. Yes, sir. It's time to get down with our bad selves. Not sure I can stomach watching a bunch of adults act like whiny kids who didn't get their way. Didn't like when Well, didn't like it when Biden won. Don't like it now. Hey, absolutely. Absolutely. You know what I mean? What do you expect? What do you expect to happen? You know what I mean? Mike's Instagram gets clogged up by a few of us sending drunk stuff. It's all our listen, I get drunk too, and I start doing the same shit. You know what I mean? It's so funny how I'll start drinking and I'll start reverting like 15 years, 10 years and shit. It's really funny to watch. Mikey, are you doing Sano's MC charter in Canada? Are there Sano's MC charters in Canada? I do not believe there is, kind sir. I do not believe there is. What's up, Glare, as well as Moto Noggin, Hardwire? Good to see you guys. We're about to get into this shit. You don't have the flannel on. Oh, man, I totally forgot. I forgot. Let me put it on. I'm going to put it on. Fuck it. We're going to play this. My bad. I meant to actually wash it, and I got totally distracted. But I will put it on. That's my bad. So let's go ahead and get into this crazy shit right now. Let's go ahead and share the screen. Boom. All right. This is off of my buddy's Jake Rattlesnake.
Welcome back to Rattlesnake.
YouTube. You know what I mean? So go over there, Rattlesnake TV. Go show him some love. He's an Aussie from down under. You know what I mean? And he put this very special compilation together yesterday. And I figured, you know what? You know, I didn't have a chance to watch it. And I figured, you know what? I'm going to save this very video to do the meltdown. Because I already know with Jake, he's going to do us justice. I already know. Let's go ahead and do this.
TV, guys, what a beautiful and
I'll be right back. I'm going to put on a flannel.
We have just witnessed President Trump making the greatest comeback of all time against all of the odds to absolutely crush Kamala Harris in the 2024 presidential election.
Let's vote. Let's get out the 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 vote. Let's win.
And whilst we are here basking in the glorious sunshine of this moment on our face, there are many people around the world who aren't quite so happy about this. These people would include the liberal mainstream media, the Democrats, who are basically the same.
Ron, where are you?
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
Cenk Uygur and other forms of alternative liberal media and random mentally ill TikTokers. And today, guys, we're going to cover them all. But before we get there, guys, I want to remind you of the confidence that these people had before the election of how Kamala Harris was going to win it. And we were going to have our first woman of color. Let's reminisce for a moment.
I have sources inside the Kamala Harris operation. And I can tell you this, as of this morning, Kamala Harris and her people are 100% confident. They're not in the least bit worried. They are 100% confident. And they're saying, do not worry about it. Don't worry about the polls. Don't listen to the polls. We have this in the bag.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alyssa. I am a Democratic strategist. If you've been following me, you know that I have long maintained since the beginning of August that this election was going to be a complete blowout for Harris in her direction because Trump is not running a serious campaign. But if you're not going to take my word for it, take the Harris campaign's most recent move, which is that 30 minutes ago, they sent me an email inviting me to a rally tonight in D.C. at Howard University, Vice President Harris's alma mater. For Harris to announce at the last minute that she's going to hold a rally in DC at her alma mater tells me that the campaign is incredibly confident going into election night and that they expect to win and that they expect to win big and that they are planning a party.
In my humble view, lights out.
Please welcome back the next president of the United States.
What do you guys think of this shit so far? Oh, shit.
I
Hold
think
on.
it's going to be a blowout, actually. I don't think
All right, real quick, because I came back. I told you guys I was going to put on the flannel real quick, you know what I mean? And I did. So, hey, real quick, we got to do some shout-outs here. We got Tats gifting out a membership out to you guys, man. Much love, honor, respect to you over there in England. As well as we've got a friend down under. We got Jess White up in the building, gifting 5 over to you guys, man. Thank you very much, Jess. You are so damn selfless. Thank you, girl. I appreciate you. Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful, afternoon and early morning now. What is it for you, Jess? Maybe midnight or something? I have no idea. But hopefully you guys are having a good one, man. And that's right. Also make sure to hit that like button. You know what I mean? Thumbs up if you are sick of identity politics. Absolutely. Let's get into this shit, man. Let's do this. Thank you guys.
It's going to be a close race. I think there are going to be those Republicans that just vote for Harris.
It'll be tied on election day, as always it will. The polls will be tied, and then he'll lose.
You call us trash? Oh, J.D. Vance, you just effed up in a way that I've never seen in my political life, and I worked for Sarah Palin.
Then I would say take Harris over 270 electoral votes. Let these fools in these crypto markets do something. Let them drive the betting line. And
man, she sends in money just to give her comment, to tell us what time. Yo, I appreciate you, Jess. 3 a.m. over there down under in Australia, man. Hey, appreciate you, Shelby, as well. Hopefully you're having a good one this morning as well as Martin. Good to see you, fellas, man. It's always a pleasure, man. Let's get into this.
Into a favorable place and then take advantage of it. That's what I would do. I think she's going to win.
This month, you wrote Trump is toast. Do you stand behind that today?
Oh, even more so. I feel the same way that I felt a few weeks ago that Trump is toast.
You know what I'm going to do when Kamala Harris wins?
Right.
Humongous shout out for my get down today. You know what I mean? Not only, look, I got it all today. I got the hat on. You know what I mean? I got the hat. I got the fucking flannel on. I've got their own whip. Look, I'm equipped. You dig? I'm equipped for the job. I'm ready. You know what I mean? I'm looking stellar. We out here representing like we out here on the West Coast, on the East. You dig? Let's go.
Pregnant and then have like 50 abortions.
Oh my God.
So guys, after all of this confidence and all of this gloating, obviously the chickens have to come home to roost. And we saw what happened during the election. And there were just some of the most beautiful moments you've ever seen of these people slowly having the life force drained out of their body.
Yeah, that's not okay. Hit that damn like button, y'all. Come on, man. You know the deal. You know what I mean? Come on. It's free to do so. I appreciate you guys. Come on, man.
As they realize that Trump is going to win.
Oh, the tears of unfathomable sadness. Yummy, yummy, you guys.
And you're not supposed to say anything, Hook Dog. You're not supposed to say that. Shame on you, kind sir.
Now for the cope, the rage, and the seethe. And if you guys, even for one moment, feel so much as a little bit of sympathy for these people, just remember how they were the ones who called MAGA supporters and Trump supporters fascists. And they kept on doing this even.
What about like Nazis and shit?
After he nearly had his head blown off in front of the entire world.
Which is what a true fascist, a fascist is used in the wrong context. You want to know who a true fascist is? Yeah, you look at Hitler, you know what I mean? Shit like that, Stalin.
Exactly what they were aiming for with these comments. And they deserve every single bit of what is happening right now. Let's just briefly have a look at some of those comments.
Here's the warning. You all have set it up, but let me take it a step further, please, if I may. Mm-hmm. This is called normalization.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is the descent into fascism, if we so choose.
We've laid out the stakes in this crucial election, where one side stands for freedom while the other meets the textbook definition of fascism, namely.
Hey, remember when I moved over here, Steve? You said, listen, man, we haven't accepted your ass on the Beast Coast yet. You know what I mean? You're like, as soon, you have to survive like an August. Like you have to survive an August summer before you can like claim anything. You know what I mean? He's like, let's just see if you survive type shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Hey, listen, we still here beasting and shit. You dig? We don't stop.
Far-right dictatorial regime like Hitler's Germany or Franco's Spain or Mussolini's Italy, but also white-ruled South Africa before Mandela and the black majority.
Yeah, that's right. We got it over there, redneck side motorcycle whips, and use the code Insane Wheels to get, listen, all one word, Insane Wheels. You guys can go to their shop and guess what? We got our own code, man. Go check it out. For real.
Control, or Vladimir Putin's Russia, Viktor Orban's Hungary, or Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela today, that suppresses the rights of women and minorities, uses the military to execute the whims of a strongman dictator, and controls and suppresses the press, education, the arts, rewrites history to suit a favored and dominant racial class, and foments extravagant corruption in order to enrich the dictator and his friends.
So, guys, before you watch all of the rage in the sea, I'd like to mention that it is obvious that the only reason these people will be staying in business over the next 4 years, CNN, MSNBC, etc., is because Donald Trump got elected. And now they've got something to talk about. But this is just all the more reason.
It is Trump's legacy. Honestly, Anson, you're right. You know what I mean? Just like the meltdowns that happened in 2016. You know what I mean? Absolutely. The unhinged liars are not being believed anymore. That is Trump's legacy. Anson's correct.
Why you cannot trust these people anymore. They are done, and this is why I support the sponsor of today's video, Ground News. In today's media landscape, staying informed
No, Jake, you get paid for that. We don't. So, hey, appreciate it.
Reported all center and right. And guys, I've been using Ground News for years, since way before I ever had a single YouTube subscriber. And when I was going through a blonde phase. Here's the proof from 2021. An interesting one that I follow is called Ground News.
Wow, look
and
at
here's
him.
the
That's hilarious.
best part. For the month of November, Ground News are
That is hilarious.
blaming.
All right, here we go.
As they go in to an absolute frenzy, blaming white women, blaming other racial groups and gender groups, without ever once so much as even hesitating for a moment to have a brief, glancing, introspective look in the mirror.
Evidently,
thank you guys
the
for believing in me.
majority of basically whites in this country willing to accept a dishonorable human being, someone who has been convicted of 34 felonies.
And guess what? Let's just say that he's a total felon and all this bullshit. You know, obviously the American people don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Obviously they don't give a shit whether he's a felon or not. You know what I mean? Look at this hag right here, dude. Look at what is she? She looks like a 112-year-old lizard. You know what I mean? This is crazy.
One who has been openly and brazenly racist. Someone who has, talked about his love for Putin and Kim Jong-un and made some statements favorable to Hitler. It doesn't matter.
This is all why you don't like him, but why is America voting?
100,000%, Darren. Unreal. And it's all, dude, I'm telling you, how come you never hear the whites talk like this? You know what I mean? We're nonstop talking, it's race, identity politics on every forefront. How about policy? Hey, did you ever think that because he could actually coherently put his words together and like have a live conference and not be like tossed up in some word salad and shit, having no idea where you're going with your conversation, you're just cackling everywhere. Yeah, you're probably not going to win over the vote. You know what I mean?
Voted for him.
Evidently, you didn't.
Racism is the basic point. People don't like to talk about racism, but the fact of the matter is the majority of his votes are going to come from whites. And that's who has been talking to all campaign about taking the country back. Taking it back from whom? Taking it back from too many minorities who are doing too well, who are succeeding, who are closing the wealth gap. And something has to be done in his estimation. And so that's what it's really all about. It's not about the economy and all that, people would like to basically hide behind. It's about white versus others.
Just a quick reminder in between.
White versus others, she said. That was the claim right there. White versus others. Yo, how about Americans versus everyone else? You know what I mean? We're looking at this as Americans, okay, as a whole. Fuck all the nonsense. Fuck the race, politics, all that crap. You know what I mean? All those weird ass left talking points. That's all for the birds, dude. You know what I mean? Why is it whites versus others, like in her claim? Why isn't it not America versus everyone else? Dude, like, you have to look big picture in this shit. I don't understand why there's this immense cope with this. I have to hear that again.
Estimation. And so that's what it's really all about. It's not about the economy and all that, people would like to.
It's not about the economy?
Basically hide behind. It's about white versus others.
Just a quick reminder.
So let me get this straight. Had nothing to do with the economy. It had nothing to do that everyone's fucking broke. It had nothing to do with the worst shit ever. You know what I mean? In the terms of economics. I mean, we're essentially in modern history. I mean, this is a depression that we've been going through, whether you guys would like to admit it or not. You know, the numbers show that. You know what I mean? So I don't care what anyone says about the whole, we're in the best economy we've ever been in. Stop the cap, yo. Ask any average person. I'm not talking about your billionaire friends. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about those people. And I'm not talking about the illegal immigrants either. You know what I mean? I'm talking about Americans as a whole. We're the ones that are getting fucked. And we're over it. You know what I mean? We're done. We're done with that shit. Obviously, America spoke.
Reminder in between this rage, guys, don't forget to like the video if you haven't already.
Damn motherfucking straight.
It does help me out enormously. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, you're welcome to do so. Let's get back to it.
But, you know, it's looking possible tonight that Donald Trump has won the popular vote. Are you saying that the majority of Americans are racist?
I'm saying the majority of the Americans will buy into anything as long as they believe that somehow they will have more advantage, they will have more ownership, that they don't have to.
More advantage within our own personal lives has nothing to do with race or sex, like this woman likes to try to believe and try to spew the rhetoric of.
Worry about others who will be equal to them. You can call it what you want, but that's the way it is.
It looks,
unreal,
Congressman Walters, as if he's expanded his base to include more black voters, more Latino voters, more people of color this time round. I mean, not more than Harris, but more than last time round. Doesn't that fight your theory?
Well, I don't know. We've got to wait and see. I don't know what the expansion is. There may be some expansion in the Latino community, but all of this talk about getting black votes, I don't think it's true.
You don't think it's true?
I just say, Rev, really quickly, too. Democrats need to be mature, and they need to be honest. And they need to say, yes, there's misogyny. But it's not just misogyny from white men.
Mm-hmm.
It's misogyny from Hispanic men.
Right.
It's misogyny from black men, things we've all been talking about, who do not want a woman leading them. Might be race issues with Hispanics. They don't want a black woman as president of the United States. You know, the Democratic...
This dude is a classic right here. Classic.
Party, I've always found when you're sitting around talking, they love to just sort of balkanize everybody into these separate groups and say, oh, white people don't like women and black people. No, it is time for the Democrats to say, okay, and you and I have talked about this before.
Yes, Joe Mobley. I would absolutely love that sometime, man. You know that I'm in your chat all the time. You know what I mean? But hey, I know you're always you're like somebody that's deep in the shit. You know what I mean? Which I really respect on your show, man. Also, go if you guys are here right now, go over to Joe Mobley's show as well. Make sure you guys go subscribe to the man. He's got some really, really base takes. He's very knowledgeable in this shit. And I mean, I could see this man definitely running, you know, in actual politics for real. So Joe, big shout out to you. Big W, dude. Yes, sir.
Hispanic voters have problems with black candidates.
Right.
A lot
and
of
with other Hispanics. You've got some that don't like each other. And some of the most misogynist.
Totally right now, Mr. Boulay. Hey, you know, it's right now it's cope season. You know what I mean? Cope season. We have a liberal meltdown day, which I've deemed today, liberal meltdown day 2024. You know what I mean? This will be a holiday.
Things I've heard going on this Get Out the Vote tour came from black men. I mean, misogynist things. So you're absolutely right. It's not simplistic. And we've got to have real honest conversations
no kidding.
About it. Real honest conversations.
And I think it's important to say that, you know, anyone who has experienced or been in the United States for any period of time and experienced this country's history and knows it cannot have believed that it would be easy to elect a woman president, let alone a woman of color. Let's just be clear. And nothing that was true yesterday about how...
Yo, are we not men? Shout out to you, kind sir. Good morning.
Flawlessly this campaign was run is not true now. I mean, this really was an historic, flawlessly run campaign. She had... Queen Latifah never endorses any...
And by the way, good morning, Bob, over there, or up there in Canada. Hopefully you're having a good morning.
She came out and endorsed. You know, I mean, she had every prominent celebrity voice. She had the Taylor Swiftie to the Swifties. She had the Beehive. Like, you could not have run a better campaign in that short period of time. And I think that's still true. I think we have to be blunt about why. Black voters came through for Kamala Harris. White women voters did not. That is what it appears happened in that state.
Yes, thank you for linking that, Mr. Boulay.
Is that if you...
Anytime I start speaking about a channel like that, please link it. For any mod, you know what I mean?
Can't flip enough white women, and we've talked about this on this set numerous times, is that you have a state where you've got a 6-week abortion or a 12-week abortion. I think theirs might be 12 weeks. But it's a state where women lost their reproductive rights, where there was a very heavy push to get women to focus on not putting in place, re-electing, putting back into the White House the person who was responsible for taking those rights away and restoring them. But that message obviously was not enough to get enough white women to vote for Vice President Harris, a fellow woman. This will be the second opportunity that white women...
Good morning, Jay. Good to see you up here
in this
as
country
well.
have to change the way that they interact with the patriarchy.
Oh my God.
And guys, of course, it would not be a show where we saw dummy spits and baby-like rage without highlighting the one and...
What's up, Code? Good to see you this morning, as well as good show this morning as well. Hey, as well as Code, go check him out. That's our brother Code over there, man. You guys got to go show him some love as well.
The only Cenk Uygur, and I covered him extensively during my live stream of the election, if any of you guys were watching that. So let's recap a little bit of that.
Okay, thank you very much. I do not have a question. I would rather have a comment as a...
All right, now we have to, right before we go into this clip, yo, Shelby's calling your asses out right now. You guys don't have to enjoy the liberals, you know what I mean? You guys don't have to do that, but you guys can also hit the like button for me because you enjoy my content. You dig? Please. Let's hit that like button. Let's get that shit up, you know what I mean? Let's get this shit up.
Member of the Parliament, European Parliament, who was called a fascist, Islamophobe. I was called all these names. And I'm happy that we have this moment of silence now, because I would like to remind you, these people are lecturing us about unity.
Look, he's shaking his head. He's shaking his head straight up.
So I would like to remind you again,
Thank you, kind sir. And I also try to be the best at being able to have a two-way conversation with people. You know what I mean? I try
are
that
talking
as hard
and
as I
lecturing us about unity. So now you have a chance to practice what you preach and show the whole nation what the unity and democracy means. You have to have a class to lose. Because if you don't have a class when you're losing, you have no right to win.
America Uncensored, good to see you guys over here, man. Appreciate it.
Cenk, go for it. Go ahead, Cenk.
Yeah, this brother isn't even American. So I don't know what the hell he's chanting USA for. I'll chant USA, not you.
Wow. Wow. That was an L take. That was an L take. And usually he does try to do his best over there to argue his side, but yikes.
Okay. And so, second of all, you're talking about losing with class when that bitch Donald Trump tried to steal an election, tried to terminate the Constitution, or set off a riot. that he didn't mind if his vice president was murdered, bum rushed the Capitol, tried to destroy our democracy. He's the very worst in losing with no class at all. Here I am telling you that I think the Democratic Party did it wrong. I think they ran a wrong campaign. They're relying on the donors. They've got the wrong strategy. So we are honest about what goes wrong in the Democratic.
Yeah, you know what? Dwayne is right. This guy right here, he enjoys the Snickers upside down for the veins. He also eats corn the long way. You know what I mean? It's really weird. No gag reflex.
Democratic Party and what goes in the Republican Party. Are you guys honest about the fact that Donald Trump tried to steal an election? He's got no class at all.
Patrick, if I may, just one sentence.
Jack, go for it.
Extreme cope.
Guys, if I can ask you for another moment of silence.
Who the hell is this guy? Are you Viktor Orban's cousin?
Okay. Ironically, he is doing all of this talking behind a screen right now when everyone else is there in person. Why didn't you show up there? Why didn't you be on the show talking like this shit? You know what I mean?
Yes, I'd like to have a conversation. I would like to answer. You asked me why I am in US now. Because I was invited and I came here with my passport.
Oh shit. Stupid ass. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. I came here legally, fucker. You know what I mean?
Stupid.
Yes, sir, Papa. Have a wonderful morning, kind sir. Appreciate it always.
So I was invited, Patrick invited me as a politician to come to US because as a European, as a Polish, I do recognize US as a leader of the free world and I pay my respect to this country.
Good.
And I came here, my friend, and I came here because I used to live under communism. My country was under communism. And Reagan, with John Paul II, freed our country.
It's coffee time, everybody. It's time.
And I will be always grateful to the Republicans of the United States for the freedom of Poland and Europe.
W. That dude just got a W. Wow.
And my presence here in America is my way to pay respect to those who freed the world from the communism. And that was America and John Paul II. And I do not want communism back.
Hey, you dig the fit, cuh? You dig the fit? Look, I got right here, redneck side, motorcycle whips right here. I got their flannel on as well, and I got their whip right here. You know what I mean? I'm like ready to go. You know what I mean? I'm in the fit right now. And if you guys go over to redneck side motorcycle whips and use Insane Wheels, you guys will get 15% off, man. Go check it out, man. They have an extreme amount of a lot of shit over there, dude. Go check out their catalog.
And Kamala is a communist.
Furthermore, you guys would be shocked to learn that.
Right. Yeah. That guy just took a huge L on the screen. You know what I mean?
Stupid.
The astrology community actually didn't get their predictions right either.
For the astrology girlies, I just want to know, I have been studying Kamala's charts, and it looks like she is not only going to win, but she is going to be winning a second term. The next 8 years in her chart look really, really strong. Trump's not so much. Okay, so I was wrong. A lot of astrologers were wrong. A lot of us were wrong. But if you think that right now is the time to tell me that you don't believe in astrology, who gives a about astrology right now, dude?
Oh, the tears of unfathomable sadness.
And then
what? Oh my God, this is funny.
Our favorite part. The mentally ill TikTok liberals did not take long at all to go into full-on meltdown mode.
I was just walking down the street to go get my medication.
Now, are you guys actually surprised that we actually didn't show any of this shit yet? Like the meltdown part, like the actual meltdown shit. Like we've actually been watching political commentators discuss the things. You know what I mean? We haven't seen these, people on TikTok recording themselves like idiots melting down. I don't know why they do that. You know what I mean? Honestly, I don't know why. Is that an attention thing? Like what if we didn't have social media? You know what I mean? We would not have, this would not be happening, obviously. These people would not be doing this shit, right? Like this has to be for attention.
I'm out and I need it for today.
Abba Renegade, good to see you, man.
And I saw a woman walking her 2 kids and she had this look on her face. And I looked at her, we made eye contact, we both kind of nodded. Like we were both just devastated. And you could just tell in her eyes.
Get your meds. Likes for Mike. Hit that like button.
This country did this again.
Hope your day gets better.
You're absolutely right. We would be upset. But guess what? You wouldn't see any of us doing that shit right there. We wouldn't be crying on no, that wouldn't be happening. Sorry. You know what I mean? Yeah. Would we be upset? Would we be saying our opinions? Would we be saying, how, you would see, anger. Sure. You know what I mean? You would see that, but you're not going to see them melting down like this. It's just fact. Sorry, dude. We don't do that.
Positive energy. Oh.
I hope this dude, for the sake of other human beings, I hope that he doesn't have any neighbors. But he's a liberal, so guess what? He lives in an inner city somewhere, that obviously voted blue. And they're all stacked on top of each other. So he probably has a family of 17 above him in a 1-bedroom apartment up here. Probably has another apartment on this side, probably another apartment on this side, another apartment on the left side. Yeah, he's probably surrounded.
All right, guys, it's time to go to bed. None of us are stressed about the election, right?
Thank you, Penguin. Absolutely.
We all.
You know who won? Americans won. You know what I mean? 100%.
We're gonna just go have the best night's sleep of our lives, aren't we?
Yummy, you guys.
I'm done with you. I'm done with you and your.
Listen, Bob. You see me? Do you honestly see someone of like me, or honestly doing any of this shit right here? You know what I mean? I would not be doing this exact same shit. Give me a break, dude. Like that's crazy that you would even assume anything close that I would act like any of this. That's actually kind of crazy. But yeah, some people get radical and they get upset. They'll say some shit. But guess what? Most of the time what they're saying is fucking actually fact. And they're not screaming, crying at the world with their flamboyant ass voice and shit. You know what I mean? Like
mother and your sister. I'm just done with all of this.
Senate race. It's not going to happen. Republican Kevin
Go Kamala
will be returning to the Senate. Continues to also project a winner in the Senate race.
Guys, we literally don't even have to panic. We literally don't have to freak out right now. We don't even have to we don't have to freak
exactly,
out.
Steve.
We don't have to...
Exactly. It's crazy to me that the left actually thinks that we would react this way. We've lost historically. I mean, it's amazing how many times we've lost. Every single time that you guys win on your side, do you guys see us burning down our cities? Do you guys see us burning down our cities? Fuck no, because we're not retarded.
Freak out because it's not even real.
We don't terrorize our communities and shit. You know what I mean? And we don't fucking sit there and cry like a baby bitch either.
Because bitch, recount the vote.
Guys, I just voted.
Oh boy.
And I chose family.
Let's end this reign of terror now.
I chose family. I chose women. I chose America. I love you.
Yummy, you guys.
Slovenia?
Yeah.
I mean, they're still outstanding. Are they not counting them here? What's going on, Vadim?
Oh, here goes Destiny.
You should know this.
Why isn't Philadelphia counting votes?
Call them up.
Call. Listen, redneck. Do I ever let you guys down? Fuck no. You know what I mean? Stop the cat.
Stop the cat.
You guys know that I bring the heat. You know.
Call them. Do we have contact? Hello, if you're watching the stream right now and you work in Philadelphia, we'll put you on stream. I'll call you. I want to know what is going on. What the hell is going on right now? Send me pictures. I know you
guys. We actually condone. We actually condone people to be absolutely fucking crazy. You know what I mean? We promote degeneracy, and we actually allow them to flourish in it. You know what I mean? And this is what happens when you tell everyone they've got their truth. You know what I mean? That's what happens when you grow up. Hey, little Tommy, you have your truth. No, the fuck you don't. There is only the truth. That is it. You know what I mean?
You're out there. I know somebody's listening.
So there we have the absolute best of the best of liberal meltdowns from around the internet, guys.
No freaking kidding, Jake. Hey, so what's crazy is right before we went live, he uploaded another video, which we're going to watch right this second. And we're going to go over to his next video over here, which let's go ahead and bring it. Okay, so this was 2 hours ago. It was uploaded an hour before, I guess, pretty much like what we started or whatever. And guys, go over to Jake Rattlesnake's YouTube channel, Rattlesnake TV, man. He's one of our favorite in the political commentary on our side, right? You know what I mean? So he's a good friend of ours. Let's go ahead and check out what he's got to say on this next segment. Of course, you know there's going to be more shit to discuss.
Welcome back to Rattlesnake TV, guys. The leftist cope over the last few days from the mainstream media after the historic Trump victory has been actually overwhelming and so much worse than I even would have imagined.
Yes,
these people,
yes, this is full-on delusion. It's full-on delusion.
Are licking their wounds, going into damage control, and trying to blame absolutely anybody but themselves. They are avoiding accountability like the plague and not realizing or not admitting even one tiny bit that they are a part of the problem. So we're going to cover a broad spectrum of this cope today. And let's start off with MSNBC.
The Washington Post, Matt Bai, writes in part, I do think the prosecutions fed a narrative of Trump as a victim. I also think Democrats dug themselves in.
Yeah. That was I think that was a badass stunt. You know what I mean? He was like, fuck it. You know what I mean? What's wrong with that? You know what I mean? Hey, listen. He's a rich ass dude. He can sit there and shoot up anything he wants. He can shoot up his own damn house. You know what I mean? As long as he's not doing it to someone else and their property, right? You know what I mean? At least he's destroying his own shit. He's not destroying other people's shit. And funny enough, he never filmed himself full on like screaming like a 3-year-old child. Didn't happen.
Into a hole on cultural issues and identity politics. Trump's vicious transgender ad in the closing weeks, she's for they, them, he's for you, was probably the most effective of the cycle. I think that probably landed with a lot of traditionally Democratic voters who feel like the party is consumed with the cultural issues, while the economic issues don't really change. I think people...
Listen. I'm going to be very honest. Jake Rattlesnake is one of the greatest, like, witty dudes, and he's really intelligent. You know what I mean? Not only is he intelligent, but like he's funny as fuck too. Like he doesn't try to be. He's trying to be obviously serious here, but like we know him on the other side, and he's hysterical. You know what I mean? He's just one of those witty kind of people, and so he makes good videos as well. Absolutely. Oh, also, remember, guys, that tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. CST, 11 a.m. Eastern. You guys already know that we have our members only live stream every single Saturday. Okay, guys, every single Saturday, 10 a.m. CST. We go live for the members only live stream for you guys in the Breakfast Club, man, specifically for you guys and only for you guys. And the only way you guys can watch it, man, is by becoming a member. It's starting at $2.99 a month. I would very much appreciate your guys' patronage and help with that. And we have a good ass time over there. You know, Breakfast Club can attest to that shit. So I appreciate it.
Needed a reason to feel good and hopeful about voting for her. And absent that, a lot of frustrated voters apparently decided to go with the guy who wants to burn it all down.
Let's dig a little deeper, because you have that stacked on top of what happened on college campuses this fall, stacked on top of...
Yeah, that's why I shook my head like, I got you.
What's been happening on college campuses over the past 4 or 5 years. I have said this on the air, and every time I've said it, people said, oh, you're just saying that because you're a white conservative. No, I'm just saying it because every Democrat that we have ever sat down with dinner with over the past 5 years who have kids that go to colleges say their kids are afraid to speak in class because they'll be canceled. Let me say that again. And they're all Democrats. Everybody that we've had dinner with, if they have a kid in college, you go, how the Red Sox going? Yeah, fine. Yeah. Sitting there eating. Beautiful day today, wasn't it? Yeah.
They really, really, really did come through on. I couldn't believe the Amish. It's insane, actually. You know what I mean? How much? Like, they came out in full force in their buggies and everything. Like, it was fucking crazy to watch, actually.
You know, my daughter at University of Virginia, she's afraid to raise her hand in class. Because if she says something that's politically incorrect, she will immediately be canceled. She'll be...
Yeah, at the end of the last one, it was kind of highlighted. Not the whole thing, but Destiny was losing his fucking shit.
Done from class. She'll be destroyed in social media by noon. So they just sit in class quiet. Now, if any of you... Which camera? Give me a camera to look at. Boom! Oh, look at that one. If any of you out there say, oh, that's just like a conservative, white, Southern guy, da-da-da, that's where you're losing. That's why you're losing, because that's what I heard. And I didn't hear it from Republicans. I didn't hear it from Trumpers. I heard it from Democrats over the past 3 or 4 years. Their kids were afraid to talk in class and say something unpopular because they would be canceled. And it's an epidemic. Willie will tell you.
Now you know how we felt for fucking 16 years. Now you feel that? Yeah, watch us take our fucking country back. I think we should go back to public shame. You know what I mean? For real.
It happens in New York City school.
You're saying something stupid. You need to be told you're fucking stupid. You know what I mean? Stupid. Absolutely. I'm done with like allowing bullshit like that. That's crazy. Call that shit out.
It happens in colleges, and all of this adds up to people going, come on, this is crazy. And Mike, it's having an impact from, again, the trans ad to...
What are you going on about, Bob? I don't care about anything that you said previously. Like, you have to know that I don't give a shit about any of that. You're not talking about me, right?
Yeah, the athletics. And by the way, as we've said on the show 1,000 times, Democrats should be smarter on the women's athletics thing. 85% of Americans oppose men transitioning after puberty and competing against women. And I'm not just saying this the day after the election. I've been saying this for years. This is not a hard call. You can show compassion and you can show grace. And as the Republican governor of Utah said, let's figure out a way to do this. But one way we don't do this is by allowing men who transition.
Dude, I have plenty of Bud Light in my fucking fridge right now. Now, is it normal Bud? No, I actually think they're like, I never drank it. Like, I always thought it was shit. But the Bud Light that I do got is the Clamatos. You know what I mean? You guys already know I love those tomato beers. That's what I call them. They're fucking bomb as shit. You know what I mean? If you like a Bloody Mary, it comes in the can already. You know, that's what I'm talking about. What I got. These tomato beers, man, they're fucking good.
After puberty, competing against young girls who have been working their entire lives to be as good as they can be, and then they get destroyed in the pool, on the track, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
So this is very funny to see, guys, because after the election blowout, these people must be registering.
That's right, Redneck. Hey, that's what we call the weed chat. Anytime that you can get every single person in the chat with a green, you know, that they're a member, they're lit up as a green. We call that the weed chat. Appreciate you guys.
That the American people are completely rejecting the leftist democratic establishment messaging. And
dude, it's going to be a major packed house tomorrow. I mean, dude, I can't believe the amount of members that we're at right now. Like, it's just absolutely incredible. I can't thank you guys enough. And Jess as well. She was a huge contributor to that. But all of you guys really, really pitched into all of the help and monetary help that you guys have done. Not only it's just all the way leading up to this point, man. Like, you guys collectively have made this shit happen. Because we don't rely on views over here to make money. You know what I mean? That's not what we do here. Live streaming is a whole totally different mentality. And I would way rather you guys become members, you know what I mean, than me like get 100,000 views on a video, to be honest. I mean, I just got like 350,000 on my Instagram. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I get views on all this crazy shit. I really don't care about the views. Like, I've been doing this too long to give a fuck about numbers. You know what I mean? I'd rather it be where it's a family dynamic. And what's really cool about this kind of system is, where do you get to have a two-way street conversation with like a news reporter? You know what I mean? Like, that's essentially what I've tried to make here, you know, as best as humanly possible.
That includes them. So now they're trying to act like they're also upset by grabbing some of the lowest possible hanging
fruit. Coming out hot. Gifting out a sub over to you guys, man, or a membership. Thank you, kind sir. Thank you so much for your patronage and the help. Yes, absolutely. All the memberships, man. All of you guys have donated. You as well, Dwayne. Brother Lee, like all of you guys, man. Rob, Shadow from the unaffiliated, like I'm talking, like all of you guys have made this shit happen, you know, as well. You know, look, Code here. I mean, we got like all the YouTubers here. You know, it's crazy, man. It's like I love having this environment, and you guys made that fucking possible. Wow, another one. Code coming in hot, rejoining for a month, saying thank you for the membership. Hey, man, he continued it on. Thank you, my man. Appreciate you. Sincerely.
It's cancel culture. We don't want to see these people on college campuses being canceled, and we don't want to see men competing in women's sports. You see, they're doing two things at the moment. They're trying to not drown, and they're also just trying their hardest to avoid admitting that they are a part of the problem. Just in regards to these sort of gender issues, I mean, where have you been?
There, Shadow says it. Yep. See, I don't care.
The things that people actually, regular, normal, common sense people actually care about, like the transitioning of children and the indoctrination of children and the gross pride parades where these gay men are naked in the middle of the street peeing on each other in San Francisco. I mean, call us bigots, but people actually don't want their families exposed to these sorts of things. And when you're trying to win over a populace, whether it be win the viewership or the votes of them, then you should probably tap into that and realize that people reject these narratives. I mean,
what's up, GEG? Always good to see you, kind sir. I appreciate you being here this morning. Hopefully you're doing good on the West Coast over there. You know what I mean?
Check out this clip from just before the election that took me about 5 seconds to find.
Human behavior recently showed that in states where anti-trans laws are passed, we see an increase in suicide attempts up to 72%. So that's why I pleaded to trans youth on the floor, stay alive.
The election is obviously 16 days away. How harmful would a Trump presidency be for the transgender community, especially in Montana and states with a similar political makeup? What is the threat that a second Trump president...
Martin, you know what? You're thinking my speed right now. We need to have some left-handed tobacco, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm.
Poses to the trans community?
You know, we don't have to look farther than the Trump campaign's closing arguments here in the 2024 elections, where we have seen tens of millions of dollars in ads targeting our communities. And
hey, everybody, real quick, we're stopping the show. Hit that like button for me if you guys are just coming in and tuning in with us. Make sure to hit that like button. It's the #1 metric of all of YouTube. I'd very much appreciate it. It helps out the show way more than I could ever explain. Thank you, guys.
We have seen them make this case. So we talk about the harm it will do to the trans community. we would see national bans. We would see additional targets on our access to healthcare and our ability to exist in public life.
That's right.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, people want to be able to afford groceries and they want to have some semblance of hope that the American dream is still alive and well.
Yo,
And
Brother Lee, good to see you, kind sir. Hopefully you were sleeping and got to sleep in or something like that. Hopefully you weren't like super busy, you know, with other BS, you know. Hopefully you got to enjoy your Friday morning. But, you know, I already know you're always on the move, kind sir. So, hey, man, good to see you. Good morning to you.
they're not too worried about trans issues and how Donald Trump's presidency will mean that men can't go in women's bathrooms and men can't play in women's sport. It's just not really top of the agenda. In fact, they outright will just reject this. And so this cope is just funny to watch. And now let's go over
I
to...
did see this, Hook Dog. It's actually, you know, it's starting to give me actual hope. You know, it's always going to be a blue state. I'm going to assume this. But it is definitely starting to, the pendulum is starting to swing. You know what I mean? And that's what I love to see. Hopefully we can get Newsom out of there, you know, for real.
CNN, and we'll have a listen to Scott Jennings, who's the only sane one on CNN, to be honest. And we'll have a look at a few more clips as well.
I'm interpreting the results tonight as the revenge of just the regular old working class American, the anonymous American who has been crushed, insulted, condescended to. They're not garbage.
Steve, okay, so I believe you have to be on a computer or you have to be on an Android. So just so you know, like if you guys are on iPhone, they don't allow you to do it because YouTube doesn't want to have to split the money with Apple because Apple forces them to take a cut. So that's why that is a thing. So when you're on your computer or an Android or whatever, you can basically go to subscription and it'll show, and you'll also get an email, Steve, at the end, and it'll ask you at the end of the 30 days, it'll say, hey, do you want to continue, you know, the membership? And if you don't want to, you could just ignore the email. You know what I mean? The YouTube sends that to you and it gives you a link to, you know, like a button to click to continue on, and it'll bring you to your YouTube and all of that. So yeah, anyways, appreciate you, man.
They're not Nazis. They're just regular people who get up and go to work every day and are trying to make a better life for their kids. And they feel like they have been told to just shut up when they have complained about the things
I appreciate that code.
Hurting them in their own lives. I also feel like this election, as we sit here and pour over this tonight, is something of an indictment.
Yo, that is probably the biggest compliment I could fucking ever receive, ever. Right there. It's about the family being together, man. I appreciate you guys, sincerely. Like, this is what this shit is about. You know what I mean? And then being able to all of us collectively win together, you know, and not only by information and understanding, you know, what's going on in the world and being in tune, but at the same time, if you guys are, you know, a part of the Insane Wheels network, like that's the point, is to be able to grow together, you know? And so I don't know why people are so focused about only themselves. It's really, really unfortunate that people do that. And because you'd be a fool to think that you could conquer this world by yourself. You need people. You need good people. And this is like, I couldn't be doing this without you guys here right now. Like, it's a two-way street, man. So that's why it's the biggest compliment. Thank you, sir.
Of the political information complex. I mean, we've been sitting around here for the last couple of weeks, and the story that was portrayed was not true.
Thank you, brother.
We were told Puerto Rico was going to change the election. Liz Cheney, Nikki Haley voters, women lying to their husbands. Before that, it was Tim Walz and the camo hats. Night after night after night, we were told all these things and gimmicks were going to somehow...
That's right. Just don't force it on us, Code. Exactly. Just don't force the bullshit. That's it.
Push Harris over the line, and we were just ignoring the fundamentals. Inflation, people feeling like that they were barely able to tread water at best. That was the fundamentals of the election. And so I think that both parties should always look at the results of an election and figure out what went right and what went wrong. But I think for all of us who cover elections and talk about elections and do this on a day-to-day basis, we have to figure out how to understand, talk to, and listen to the half of the country that rose up tonight and said, we've had enough.
Guys, don't forget to like the video if you haven't already, and subscribe.
Just like Jake just said right there. Boom. He knows the deal. Hit that like button.
channel. But also, just another little announcement for you here. You may have noticed that I haven't changed.
Uh-oh. He's going into his little ad, which is cool. You know, you get paid for that on your side. We do not.
To new Trump administration already forming. And it was this long article about all these groups that were already out there. At that time, they thought he was going to beat Biden, but already planning to try to tie up the administration in court. You've had Jamie Raskin out there already saying, you know, we got to try to tie him up, maybe even before he's sworn in. Today, Sheldon Whitehouse and the Senate put out a press release saying we're going to focus not on progress, but on containing Donald Trump. My political advice to all these people is, please pick up the election results today and see what happens.
Damn, Beezer. People whining about inequality in an environment they created themselves. No fucking kidding, dude. W.
The American people want this president and his administration and his party to make progress on the things they promised to do. This is exactly what happened last time. They were plotting to impeach him before he ever took office back in 2016. Let us not have a replay of this.
No way, redneck. No way. That would be dope, actually.
We just have a couple of years of peace for the Republicans and President Trump to do what they promised to do, because the American people clearly are asking for it. There's a difference in responding to your constituents and working overtime to try to prevent the duly elected government from doing anything. This thing back in
Obama nominate a Supreme Court justice. It is so duplicitous, I feel like.
All right, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below, man.
I respect
Appreciate
you,
that,
Scott, and you're my friend. But like, please do not sit here and say that Republicans, when Democrats are elected, just roll over and let you all are struggling.
My advice is, if you all go down this road and try to stop this government, which just won a mandate.
That's right. Listen, you have to be able to compensate somehow. You can't be this good looking, this smart, you know what I mean? And tall. That's not going to happen, right? And 2 legs? Stop the cap, bro. You're not going to. Nothing's a perfect world, you know what I mean? We have to sacrifice in certain areas, and I'm short and I got 1 leg, you know? It's just the way it is. Fuck it.
From doing anything, you will again pay the price in election after election. The American people are asking for progress. Do not tie this man up. Give this person a chance to lead.
No, I'm going to speak some hard truths to my friends in the Democratic Party. This is not Joe Biden's fault. It's not Kamala Harris's fault. It's not Barack Obama's fault. It is the fault of the Democratic Party in not knowing how to communicate effectively to voters. We are not the party of common sense, which is what the message that voters sent to us. For a number of reasons. We don't know how to speak to voters. When we address Latino, and language has meaning. When we address Latino voters as Latinx, for instance, because that's...
Well, do you see how identity politics will do that? Hey, you know, I'm just heads up to the left. Identity politics, using race, using, gender, sex, same thing. You use that in politics like that, it's going to go the exact opposite way. The American people obviously do not like that shit. They obviously hate it. You're not going to win that way. Obviously. I mean, hence why the red wave is happening right now. Sorry, not sorry.
The politically correct thing to do. It makes them think that we don't even live on the same planet as they do.
Oh my God, I will vote. I will vote for Donald Trump.
When we are too afraid to say that, hey, college kids, if you're trashing a campus at Columbia University.
Good morning, Pumper. Good to see you, kind sir.
Because you're unhappy about some sort of policy and you're taking over a university and you're trashing it and preventing other students from learning, that is unacceptable. But we're so worried about alienating one or another cohort in our coalition that we don't know what to say when normal people look at that and say, wait a second, I send my kids to college so they can learn, not so that they can burn buildings.
Trust me, you're not the only one. Most people start misspelling shit. And which is really funny when people start misspelling shit because I'm so illiterate and, you know, I'm just, hey, sometimes I'm stupid like that. You know what I mean?
Stupid.
Yeah, then they trip me up with their typos, which is even funnier. You know what I mean? But I read through it most of the time.
Things in trash lawns, right? And so on and so forth. When we put pronouns after names and say she, her, as opposed to saying, you know what, if I call you by the wrong pronoun, call me out. I'm sorry, I won't do it again. But stop with the virtue signaling.
Freak out! Yes, sir.
And just speak to people like they're normal. There's nothing I'm going to say to Sir Michael that I'm not going to say to you, that I'm not going to say to somebody else. I speak the same language to everybody. But that's not what Democrats do. We constantly try to parse out different ways of speaking to different cohorts because our focus groups or our polling shows that so-and-so appeals to such and such. That's not how normal people think. It's not common sense. And we need to start being the party of common sense again. Joe Biden is not responsible for that.
Exactly. Exactly, Pumper. That's the whole thing. You know, if I lose my other leg, then I can be as tall as I fucking want. You know what I mean? Then I could be 7 foot tall. I could be 7'7". Fuck it. I'll be a skyscraper.
Neither is Kamala Harris.
I identify as a skyscraper that walks on metal legs. That's how that's my identity. You better respect it.
Problem that Democrats have had for years. I've been banging the drum on this for, I don't know how, probably 10 years, if not longer on this. We need to get back to being the party of common sense, that people look at us and say, we understand you. We appreciate what you say because you speak our language. And until we do that, we should stop blaming other people for our own mistakes.
So once again, very funny. But I mean, what are CNN going to do now? What is their messaging going to be? I'd imagine probably the same as the last 8 years, I'd say. I mean, they only really have one path. They are only in business because Donald Trump is still in the headlines. And it's never lost on me the irony of the fact that they are only in business because of the person that they just constantly shit on. But what they will have to do, because they really don't have another option, because trust in them is...
Damn, that was fucking good. What he just said right there?
Never lost on me the irony of the fact that they are only in business because of the person that they just constantly shit on. But what they will have...
Wow. Hey, listen, if your boss is broke, you're broke, motherfucker. You want your boss to be making money. Dumb fucks. If your boss is broke, then you're broke. You know what I mean? Like that's a for instance, you know, in the same thing that people talk shit on, you know, which is crazy to me. You would want the company to do good so that you do good. It is actually like people go, trickle down economics don't work. That's how you get paid. That's how you get paid. That's trickle down economics right there. When you get paid a paycheck, that is trickle down economics from the company making money. All these people are like, want to punish, you know what I mean? The exact same thing that they fucking are sitting there with their hand out, you know what I mean? Which is crazy.
Have to do, because they really don't have another option, because trust in them is essentially dead, is just hold on to the last...
I like that, Shadow. That's funny.
Remaining Trump derangement syndrome people. And there are still a few of them. They've got 4 more years in the gas tank. But beyond that, they've really got nothing good to say whatsoever. I mean, these people were the purveyors of the Russia collusion hoax, of all of the PC, woke, cultural Marxist talking points. They championed senile Joe Biden.
Yeah, hey, we got to do a temperature check for all of you guys. You don't have to give me your city or anything or town, but do me a favor. Let me know where you're at in the country, you know, and by state, and also let me know the temperature that you're currently at right now. I'll let you know what mine is too.
And said that he was as sharp as a tack, and that Kamala Harris was such a wonderful...
Okay, so it is 74 degrees Fahrenheit. That is, so right now at 11 a.m. in Coleman, Alabama, it is 11:08, 74 degrees. The high is going to be 78 and the low will be 63. Yes, sir.
Inspirational candidate. And she ran a flawless campaign while Donald Trump is a rambling fascist. I mean, they have called Trump every single name in the book, and they've...
Yep, Steve. He says, my money trickles down to my bitches, baby mothers every damn week. Yes, sir. That's exactly trickle down economics.
Tried to smear him 7 ways to Sunday. But now that the American people have spoken, they must know deep down, or they must just blatantly, outwardly know that the gig is up, and they're looking for someone to blame that's not them. And just one of the examples of recent scummy
No,
journalism...
I did not cover that, by the way, Anson. I did see that, but I did not cover that. Yeah, Putin did talk about how he respected Trump. That is true.
That they have done is when they were trying to...
Trump spoke to 38 world leaders in the first 24 hours. I believe that's what it is, the number. you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like 36, 38 world leaders within the first 24 hours. That's a humongous W for Trump, by the way. Yeah. Yeah.
To defame JD Vance by getting his old transgender friend on in an attempt to do some sort of a hit piece on Vance and make people not like him. Check this out.
And that's why I want to ask you in the context of how well you knew JD Vance. You had shared a message that he sent with us.
Yeah, I did see that, Darren. And the one thing though is, guess what? The truth is you really didn't want that one to pass. You want the next one to pass for you guys with left-handed tobacco. Let's just call it that for YouTube. For me, you guys can say it in the chat. I can't. So the reason why you don't want the specific one that was shown in Florida was, unfortunately, they only are legalizing it, what that was proposed for. It'd be legal only from the owners of the companies, that you're not allowed to plant your own. You're not allowed to do any of that shit. You're not allowed to have it like that. You have to buy it from them. That's what makes it legal. You know what I mean? And that's too much control. That's way too much control, in my opinion. I look at it as, if they're going to legalize it, legalize it. You know what I mean? Like, don't have these restrictions on it, where if you guys do implement it, then it would actually be harder to get out of that to be actually free, you know, with it, if that makes sense.
He sent to you in 2016. And he apologized for describing you in his book, Hillbilly Elegy, as an extremely progressive lesbian. That was
I do. Merch is coming out. When I get back on my leg here next week, I'm going to be making a trip very soon, once my leg is, you know, better in the sense where I'm walking around and I'm not worried about like actually hurting myself or anything like that. When that happens, I'll be going up to Tennessee, because I'm going to be meeting up with Lee Lance in the chat. And then he's got a friend that also does merchandise. And I'm really about quality. I'm not someone that wants to do the drop shipping merchandise. If I'm going to sell something to you guys, it's going to be tip top, the best of the best. And the truth is I'm going to be able to keep the price down, because I'm not going to price gouge. I'd rather make $2 on something than and do more of that, than rather than make $50 on something that shouldn't, you know, I'm over, you know, charging you guys, which would be unfair. So, but I'm really about quality, and that's why I'm doing all of it in-house, in person, where I can actually have the physical merchandise. You guys won't be going through a website.
Quote in the book. So in this message that you shared, he writes to you, he calls you Sophs, his nickname, and he says, I recognize now that this may...
And the temperatures are pretty nice out right now for all of you guys, it seems like.
...may not accurately reflect how you think of yourself. And for that, I'm really sorry. I hope you recognize that the description came from a place of ignorance when I first started writing years ago. I hope you're not offended, but if you are, I'm sorry. Love you, JD. That obviously is a very different person in terms of these issues and perspectives than we all hear now. I wonder, Sophia, when you look at it now and you're getting ready to watch him tomorrow night, who do you think the real JD Vance is?
Yeah, could the real JD Vance...
No way, Anson. You're in Huntsville? No way. Me and you got to do a meetup, dude. I live right down the street from you. I'm in Coleman. I'm right down the street. That's fucking crazy. No way.
Vance, please stand up. I don't think anybody knows, right? We've had many different iterations of JD Vance. He's a chameleon, he's a fraud, and he's out for power and wealth. And I think that shows that's why he's wildly unpopular, because the American people value authenticity. And this is, I think, actually ties into the trans rights issue, Aaron, because what I'm seeking and what all trans people are seeking.
Yeah, that fire in California in Ventura County is definitely going to fuck you guys up. That's for damn sure. But yeah, you were right down the street from where I moved from, Dean, and I already know that you know that, but interesting.
Is the right
Small world.
To live their authentic lives, to be their authentic selves. And that makes you happier and it makes you less angry. And I think, you know, it might be easier for JD Vance to order donuts without looking weird if he could be his authentic self. And he might have a thing or two to learn from trans people.
Exactly, Darren. And I'm sure that I don't know if you knew that or not, but I know that the face of the bill didn't show that when you guys were voting. You know what I mean? People wouldn't necessarily know a lot of what the restrictions really are. And it's actually, in my opinion, it's the exact opposite of freedom, you know?
People's all I'm saying.
I don't know about you guys, but when I watch that, I think to myself, JD Vance seems like a respectable guy. He seems kind and loving to his friends.
At least you were able to grow them, Bob. In the bill that they were trying to pass in Florida, you wouldn't be able to have any plants. It would still be illegal, 100% illegal to do that. It would only be legal from the company.
But also principled. He'll stand on what he believes and he won't take a backward step while still treating people with kindness. But it makes the they, them seem like a nasty piece of work. So, I mean, well done, JD Vance, on trimming the fat from the next guest list next time you have a party. I mean, I'm sure Vance will have some much better value friends to invite this time because, I mean, that guy looks like about as much fun as a fart in a spacesuit.
Oh my God. No, 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 no. Hey, 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 hey. Don't do that. No, no. Come on. Hey.
Well, you know what, Clover? That's a good point. You know what I mean? Hence why you guys would buy anything from me. You know what I mean? But that is a very good conversation right there. My biggest concern is just giving you guys the best bang for your buck and actually being stoked on the merchandise itself. You know, if you guys are going to support somebody, it'd be nice to be able to have something that you actually dig, something that you have of actual quality. So I'm not so stuck on necessarily about like the obvious price or whatever. Sure, if I want maybe a $10 whatever. But for instance, I'm not necessarily worried about the money. I'm more worried about you guys enjoying the product, you know, because too many people buy shit that is dog shit. You know what I mean? And people will never wear it. People will never use it or whatever, you know?
Oh, man. Oh.
But anyways, some of these people are actually too dumb to realize the way that the winds are blowing.
I will, Dean. I'll make sure that 3X and 4X are available.
And can't
and 5.
understand
I'll probably do that too.
To come back to normality a little bit would actually be a very effective grift for them. We've seen Chris Cuomo do this a little bit recently. But no, these guys aren't going to do that. They're going to double down.
Let's be honest. It was a terrible night last night. It was a terrible night for women, for children, for the hundreds of thousands of hardworking immigrants who make this country go, for healthcare, for our climate, for science.
All right, here we go. Here we go, Kimmel.
For journalism, for justice, for free speech. It was a terrible night for poor people, for the middle class, for seniors who rely on Social Security, for our allies in Ukraine, for NATO, for the truth. And
stop the cap.
Democracy and decency. And it was a terrible night for everyone who voted against him. And guess what? It was a bad night for everyone who voted for him, too. You just don't realize it yet.
How absolutely pathetic is that?
Incredible.
You'll see, we've been wrong for the last decade, but you'll see, we'll be right this time. I mean, I don't actually think he's crying there. I think that they're sort of performative tears. I think they're crocodile tears, and he doesn't care about anybody but himself. I mean, he'll finish that show up, get his assistant to wipe the sort of tears and the mascara out of his eyes. He'll get into his limousine, go back to his mountain, and then watch from above. Just watch the peasants down below. He doesn't care about the people that he claims to care about.
No, of course not.
I mean,
what are you talking about? Everything in Kimmel's life is self-interest. Stop the cap.
he actually is legitimately crying there out of emotion, then he is a massive pussy. So anyways, on to
yeah,
AOC.
that's a fact, Jake. Hey, W Jake, dude. Don't be beach. Don't be beach.
See now, the only ever waitress in history to bring absolutely nothing to the table, who is obviously equivalent to a brainwashed 19-year-old college.
What size are you going to need, Steve, by the way? You know what I mean? So that I can kind of have a general idea so that I can start getting merchandise kind of like written down.
Student having sushi in the cafeteria with her furry friends talking about capitalism and how to overthrow the patriarchy. Let's have a listen to AOC talking about how the fascist regime
I got you,
is
Martin.
incoming.
I'll make sure of that. Trust me. My dad wears a 3X. You know what I mean? So I already know. I'll make sure you guys are hooked up.
We are about to enter a political period that will have consequences for the rest of our lives. We cannot give up. We now find ourselves.
That's right. That's right. If you guys go over to Redneck Side Motorcycle Whips, all this shit that you see me currently right now, the hat, even they've got not only motorcycle whips, but they actually got shit. You know what I mean? And this is great quality for real. Like I'm going to be wearing this shit. But yeah, go use Insane Wheels on their code for 15% off, guys. Go check it out. Their catalog is actually immense. Go check that shit. You guys know I wouldn't be doing anything with anybody that wasn't up to that same quality standard that I've got. Yeah. I'm not gonna ever promote anything that I don't believe.
In a time in history that has precedent, and we find ourselves, I believe, in a time where there are, let's say, peers in history of mass movements of people that mobilize to protect one another in times of fascism and authoritarianism. And this is the era that we are poised to enter. Donald Trump has talked about.
I wonder, you know what I mean? Well, she might be looking a little tired for multiple reasons. How about that?
Turning the military on U.S. citizens that he deems his domestic political enemies.
I gotta agree,
authoritarians and people that he.
AOC. AOC. What that mouth do, though? You know what I mean? What that mouth do, though?
Affiliates closely with and strongmen abroad in regimes like that. It is not uncommon to jail.
I got you, Joseph. I appreciate you, brother.
Political dissidents or legislative opponents.
Much love, Darren. Appreciate you, man.
This is the world that we very realistically may be entering.
So just our favorite there, guys. AOC once again doubling down on the fascist line. I mean, he had 4 years in office and he had a pandemic during that time where he could have shut down the whole.
He's absolutely correct right here, by the way. So when I told you guys I'm going to be going to Tennessee in order to do the in-house merchandise, he did this. Like that's not paint. You know what I mean? That's not paint. That's actually the cup, like the metal. You know what I mean? Like this is like super, super quality. That's why I'm fucking around with him. You know what I mean? Absolutely. I'm all about it.
Whole country and seized power for himself, but he decided not to do it. But this time he is going to do it. You'll see, as Jimmy Kimmel says, and as AOC says, you guys will regret voting for the orange fascist.
You just don't realize it yet.
So anyways, guys, do not forget to check out the Many Men shirt, plus much more on the most based merch store in the whole entire world, bar none. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And also, if you would like to watch another video, you can do so right here.
All right. So listen, man, that was actually a very interesting thing to go over with all of you guys. You know, I hope that you guys were able to have a few little chuckles there, you know what I mean? And be able to laugh it up a little bit, because I know I did, you know what I mean? This was, you know, fun to go over with all of you guys. I appreciate all of your guys' immense support. The amount of love that you guys have shown to the channel, man, is absolutely unreal. I really am like beside myself daily on this shit. And I really, really mean that. I can't thank you guys enough for everything. Clovertack says, my wife does those too. It is easy to do. You put a stencil sticker on the cup. Yep, exactly. Yep. That's the point. You got to be able to do that shit without fucking that shit up and having fucked up edges and shit. 100% Clovertack. That's a fact. Yes, sir. So if one of the moderators can put Redneck's like website up, that would be super dope. I would appreciate that. And Mr. Boulay, I appreciate you being here and hanging out with us as well. Don't forget to tune in to members only tomorrow. That's right, Steve. Thank you for that. Good call to action, because you guys know that every Saturday morning, 10 a.m. CST, the exact same time we go on live Monday through Friday, except it's only for you guys in the membership program. You know what I mean? You guys being a part of the Breakfast Club, which is the members here. You know, we have a good ass time. I'm not just sitting there collecting something for nothing. We're making sure that we're giving back and we have a good ass time over there. And we get to say a little bit more wild shit over there because it's not so damn public. You know what I mean? Which is pretty damn nice. Yeah, Jay. Yeah, 100% on that. But yeah, I can't thank you guys enough. Appreciate every single one of you guys. I'm going to be rating CT, Chaotic Truth over there. He's got always crazy ass debates. And because he actually hosts over there, he actually hosts the conversation, the brutal conversation between race. And yeah, you know what I mean? It's actually a very interesting conversation to listen to. There's a lot of yelling and screaming over there. So it is a lot of chaos, like his name says, Chaotic Truth. You know, so hey man, go show some love over there. Let them know that in the chat when you guys get over there. Hey, let them know. Hey, it's an Insane Wheels raid, man. Anyways, much love, honor, respect to everybody. I appreciate you all. Have a wonderful, safe weekend if I don't see you in members only tomorrow morning. And God bless. Much love, honor, respect to everybody.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart of steel and a spirit unbroken, he rides on two wheels ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, Insane Wheels rises a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow, he takes his stand, refusing to submit.